Hello, boys and girls. Our religion class today is about being a good neighbor, about loving each other and taking care of each other. Right now, during this COVID-19 thing, a lot of people are taking care of people, and a lot of times they don't even know the people they're helping. We have companies that are letting us use library books, programs, free to help you all at home learn. There are companies that are giving books to children who don't have books. People who walk sick people's dogs and pets. We have people who go grocery shopping for people because it would be too dangerous for them to leave their home and go to the store. I bet you've heard your mamas and daddies talking about things that either they do or that somebody else did. Maybe you've seen some of those wonderful concerts on TV where people from all over the country, sometimes even all over the world, are singing songs to raise money for food for the hungry because they lost their jobs. Some of your very own teachers go out and help when the food bank comes to help distribute the food. Some of your teachers have taken lessons to your homes because you didn't have a computer or the internet, or maybe your parents were sick and they couldn't get them. And maybe some of you have done things too. Well, you know, in this time of so many people being so kind, it's good to remember that Jesus taught us that with a wonderful story. And the second graders, in your book, I Walk with Jesus, later on, if you will go and look at pages 22 to 31, here's a story that Jesus told. If you look at the picture, you see a man and he's being beaten up by robbers. The man was going from Jerusalem to Jericho. And robbers stopped him, pulled him off his donkey, beat him up, and left him for dead. A priest from the temple came by, and he saw the man on the ground, but he was in a hurry, and he said, "Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't take care of him." He really should have stopped, shouldn't he? But he didn't. He just passed the poor dying man by. Another man came by, and he too saw the dying man on the road, but he went past too. He was too busy also. Maybe they were frightened. Maybe they were afraid that if they helped him that they might be beaten up. But the man was there in pain, all alone, no one to help him. And then Jesus said, a stranger came by and saw the man lying there, and he got off his donkey. He took water from the water jug and gave him some water to drink. He bandaged up the sores and the wounds, and he put the man on his donkey. But the strange thing is, Jesus said, this man was a Samaritan. Now, Samaritan people and Jewish people, for many reasons that went back a long, long way, didn't talk to each other. They would go on the opposite side of the road if they saw each other coming, just so they wouldn't have to really pass by closely. But this man was a Samaritan, helping this Jewish man, a man that they called his enemy. But the man knew God's love and mercy, and he took the man. He lifted him up, and he put him on his donkey, and he took him to the nearest town that had an inn, sort of like a motel like today, except not nearly as fancy. And when the man got there, he took care of him. He got a room for the man for the night, fed him whatever he could to help get him better. And the next day, when he had to go on to the job he was going to, he gave money to the innkeeper. And he said, "Sir, would you please take care of this man for me until I get back? And if you need anything more before I come back, I will pay you more then." And so we see here he is taking care of him that night and giving he gave the innkeeper the money. And Jesus said, "Now, I've got a question for you. Who was a good neighbor to the man who fell in among robbers?" And of course the people said, "Well, of course it was the Samaritan." And Jesus said, "That's right. Samaritans and Jews didn't talk to each other very much, didn't like each other very much. But it was a Samaritan who saw a person in need and took care of him." So Jesus tells us about these wonderful things and wonderful ways that we should act. And right now, during the COVID-19, we see people acting like that all the time, doing good and kind things for other people. And they don't stop and say, "Well, will they pay me back? Are they my neighbors? Do they live next door to me? I don't know them." But you know what, boys and girls? Jesus said, everybody is our neighbor. And we're supposed to love and take care of everybody, not just some people. And so sometimes you see all these wonderful stories on the news. Think of these good things that are happening. Yes, COVID-19 is not good. It's not nice. It's ugly. People die. People are sick. We can't go to school. We can't do a lot of things. But we can still love, boys and girls. We can still be a good neighbor to our mamas, daddies, brothers, sisters, grandpas, grandmas, and people around us, and even people that we don't know. And boys and girls, I want to leave you with the thought. Ask Mama and Daddy how you can be a good neighbor in your own family. I'll see you in another story.